Good day, YouTube. So, a little update. Went and got my upper GI yesterday. It came back all clear. And so I graduated. Don't have to go back for 2 years. So everything's behaving. The portal pressure is good. Which they determined by the upper GI, yada yada. So all that's in check. All my labs are in check. The gastrologist said I was a model patient. Said I was a model patient. She was really surprised and very happy. And so instead of every 6 months, 2 years for that. And I'll see the LVN in 3 months. And still no biggie. We really liked her. I told my doc that we really liked her. She knew my case, so she had to study it. And so I assume she does that for every patient. But the reason they're doing that, it's explained before. Another gastro center shut down, and so they just took on all their patients. So my doctor's only doing procedures, and the office checkup visits, the LVN is doing those, which is, I don't know, a nurse of some sorts. But anyways, so all's good there. She's just very happy. And so there's that. And I do feel really good. Really, I do. And so off, got my pizza. And came home. And 9-hour day. It is what it is. And the hospital's pretty efficient. I guess it's a hospital. I'm not sure. I think it is. They just call it a medical center, but I think it's a hospital. It's huge for me. My standards, it's huge. But it's Sasante Medical, whatever, in Medford. But really like it. Treated really good there. And I only go there for the procedures. That's the place my doctor uses, so whatever. Doesn't matter where she does it at, but that's where she does it. The valet parking, it's great, Customer service is really good down there, and they treat you good. And no mask. And seems kind of weird. This is my first doctor's appointment since the mandate lifted April 3rd. And so it was nice. And no one masked up. I did see 2 couple that still were masked up, whatever. They were just patients, and I really don't care. But no, they're not forcing it on us. Not that I really wore mine. I really, not very often. And it is what it is. So, I still got abdominal scan coming up in May. I don't know when yet. She should be calling sometime. I don't know. They just call, so we don't worry about it. They call and remind us. And so I'll get that done. And I suspect it'll be, good as well. And then the full labs, she'll order that too. And get that taken care of and get my MELD score. That's what she was interested. Like I said, it was no biggie. Hang on 1 second. I'm not on my app, and so I can't pause it, and I gotta let the dog out. All right, all good. So, get the MELD score. Like I said, I've already got it. I don't expect it to change in 2 months. And the last change, it went down. So there's that. I don't think it can go back down to 6, which is like perfectly normal. But I'll I'll take 9. So there's that. So she just told me to keep doing what I'm doing. And she thanked us for the binder from the old videos from my dying videos I did. We had that big binder, and we still use it. And she was really impressed and thankful because it's all organized, and it's easier for us to open that and go back and look at prior tests or whatever, and because it's all nice and so it's really helpful, and we just keep adding to it. Nowadays, I don't add much paperwork, so it is what it is there. So that's where I'm at. Let me turn that down. And so that's where we're at. I think I'm at as best as I can get, which I feel really good. Really, I do. And man, I tipped the scales at 197.8. So I don't want to hit that 200, but I don't know. See what happens. The doctor didn't say anything about me, how much weight I could gain if it was bad for me or whatnot. So I meant to ask him about it, but evidently it's not a problem. It's gained more weight than I lost. So I gained close to 50 pounds. Over 45 pounds at least I gained since they kicked me out of ICU. And most people don't gain any. So I'm like this miracle specimen of a human being. No, but I'm just really happy. We're all really happy. So that's where I'm at. And I called the rheumatologist. I don't call, I just message him on their portal. It works great. And I had them up the pregabalin, so they kicked it up another 150 milligram. And I'll run that for a couple months and see if it can't get a little bit better, like in my finger joints and my knee joints, all my joints. See if it could get a little better. And if not, there's still other options. He had 4 or 5 different things he could have gave me, but this is what he picked for starting point. I don't know why, but he did. And see what happens on that. I'll take it for a couple months. I'll tell you something weird about that pregabalin. So Fred Meyer is my pharmacy. And so that they were $50 to fill the 60 quantity that I was taking. It was 150 twice a day, so 60 a month. And they wanted $50. And so I was going to change it to Rite Aid because I can use good RX, which I talked about before. And it was only like $7. So I was like, well, hell. So Rite Aids, they got this online portal. I get one of my other drugs through there too because it's a lot cheaper, the lactulose. And so I used her online, transferred it, all the proper information and yada yada, and went through the process. And they said, all right, great. Our pharmacist will talk to your pharmacist. And so I waited, and it's like, well, hell, they haven't changed it yet, and I need to get it filled. I mean, I can just jam it at Freddy's because it's still there. But so I call Rite Aid. They're like, oh yeah, they said they can't transfer that. I'm like, well, how come? He's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's like, it's usually best just to have your doctor do it directly with us instead of trying to use our transfer. I'm like, really? Then what the heck you got it for? So I just said, yeah, whatever, and hung up. And so that's when I jumped on the portal. And so in the title of the message, I put about changing the pharmacy and whatnot. And so then I left them the message, I need to change, give them all the pertinent information, call it into Rite Aid, and, I could save myself, whatever, $40. And, up my medication. So she writes back and she's like, all right, we filled your script. And I'm like, oh, all right, great. And so for the Fred Meyer alert system still goes to my wife's phone because I was so sick. And so she just dealt with picking up my medications because back in the beginning it was just like nonstop getting medications, I swear. And so it just send a text message and alert her. And so we were sitting there, and she's like, hey, did you fill another prescription at Freddy's? I'm like, no, I got everything I needed for the month. And she's like, well, I just got a text that something's ready. So I go click on my Fred Meyer portal, and sure enough, there's a pregabalin 90 quantity. And the price is only $4.15 now. So I'm like, really? So I'm glad they didn't change it because it still would have been over $4.15 with the good RX. And so I don't know. So I just rocked it and paid it by $4.15. So that's all good. There's another thing. I talked about the billing. I think I might have how these hospitals like bill you. You have hospital services, doctor services, imaging services, and so they all bill different. And one thing I've noticed is the third-party people that handle like the imaging, they all use the same people. It's like a spam call. And so what they try to do is pressure you into paying your bill. And I didn't, I just don't dig it. So it happened for the upper GI, and they called, I thought it was the hospital because they always call me and run me through, fast and yada yada, be here, and I thought that's what it was. And then they're like, they get into the spill, they're like, well, it looks like you're still going to owe like $185 after this. Can you pay today? And I'm like, well, no, I'm not going to pay today because I haven't, received services yet. Yeah, she's like, oh, yada, yada. She's like, well, are you going to pay when you check in? I'm like, no, I'm not going to pay then either because I'm not going to pay until services. And they can just bill like they've always billed. And once a month cycle, they send me a bill and I make my payment on it or I pay it off, one of the two. And so she's like kind of pissy. And so get this, I'm like, so what's going on with the mask down there? I was like, do you have to wear a mask? And she's like, well, I don't know. I'm like, well, are you wearing a mask right now? She's like, well, no, I'm in Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee at my house. I'm like, really, lady? And just hung up on her. So check in, it's always the same. Yada yada, we'll mail you a bill. And we're just like, all right, thanks, And I don't know. It's a different vibe when you get there, It's just like, no problem, we just mail, like any bill, they mail it to you. Like your water bill, your power bill, After you use the service, you pay for it. And so anyways, and screwed her off. But I had another one here a while back. It was from Sutter Coast. And it was just for my hospital services. And I pay them every month. I can't pay it off. But I pay them every month. And it's almost paid off. And so she called me. And she's like, yeah, we need a payment. And I was like, well, yeah, you know, I paid you, you know, on the 3rd. That's my payday. And yeah, so I don't know what the problem is. She's like, well, these somebody, you know, you're past due, and I'm like, well, yeah, I know, you know, like I told her, I was like, lady, on payday I get paid, and my check is like jam. I just spread it around on the piece of toast, so everybody better get some of it while you can, cause it only lasts, you know, so long until the next month. You know, that's the way that works. And so she's like, yada yada, and she kind of threatened me with collections. I'm like, lady, do you realize you're talking to a dead man right now? It's like, if you put that in collections, you won't ever get anything. You won't ever get any money, and it's going to cost you money, and it's just not going to go anywhere. I was like, or you could just let me keep doing what I have been doing and making my monthly payments. So she agreed that would be better. It's like, you know, now I'm down to just a little over $100. I'm like, really? You know, after the, you know, $66,000 bill for ICU, you know, and all this other stuff. I don't know how many thousands. I didn't ever keep track of it, but it, you know, 3 times a week, and infusion and the peritoneal, you know, it's all expensive, but so it is what it is. So all's good, you know. I feel lucky. I feel like I should buy a lottery ticket maybe, but I'll check in again, uh, you know, and see what's up, and I'll check in before, you know, this my abdominal scan, but just cruising, you know. I think I gotta get a blood test, the ferritin too. I think I talked about it last time. I think I gotta get like everything this month, which is no biggie. Just suck blood out of me, just whatever, you know. What's another vial? And the more they suck out of me is actually the better off for me. So I just tell, yeah, take whatever, you know. I don't care. But just don't make me anemic. But anyways, I'm gonna jump out of here. Still letting the old hair grow. I don't know what to do about it, but my hair is just, it's at that point where it won't really do anything. You know, so it's just under the hat. Needs to get a little bit longer yet before I can even really comb it or brush it. But anyways, beautiful weather now at the beach. Come on over. G23, I saw you snuck over at the northern end of the state here the other day. I hope the weather was nice when you were there. But it's nice now, down here anyways. Anyways, I'm out of here. I'll check in soon. You guys stay healthy, stay positive, and lay off that table salt. Peace out.